Yo, this is Nova Trifecta. I am Jimmy Fedora, aka Alias, aka All the Above, Mr. All the Above.
Magnegro, what's good?
That was such a soft Magnegro.
Subtle. That's my new thing.
Nothing is subtle about you.
What is subtle?
What is it?
Like,
Why
what
is it spelled
what
that?
is it to be subtle?
Why
Also, I'm not subtle. I'm Ricky. But what is it to be subtle?
and why is it spelled that way?
Is it spelled wrong?
Subtle. It's spelled like turtle, but with a sub.
Yeah. Why is it spelled that way? Yeah, I've never understood why subtle is spelled that way.
Why is knife not knife?
Subtle. A knife
We don't know
mashing
why.
about with all those gnats.
Why? This
Good
makes
night.
no sense at all.
Like who made these rules, these random rules that come out of nowhere? Like, hey, we're gonna put a K at the beginning of the knife, but it's not gonna be a real K, but it's gonna look just like a K. Why?
We should definitely change it back. All right. Well, we are here to talk about Wandavision. What episode is this again? 6?
So 6.
Episode 6. We are in full swing of things now.
We actually skipped episode 5. So if we
I wasn't
wanted
gonna
to
bring it up. But since you did, we just
Plot
gonna
twist, we skipped episode 5.
we skipped episode 5. We hope y'all just didn't, notice. But we are back with episode 6. First off, do y'all love the direction that the show is going?
I
Well,
do.
Okay.
What?
Oh,
Oh, that's it. I do.
I was
you said
waiting on
okay.
Ricky. Oh no. I've enjoyed the direction of it from the very beginning. I know a lot of people was talking about it was boring, at the very beginning, but I was intrigued. I was intrigued from the very beginning.
Oh, those people are clowns.
You got a
He did.
1972 Black Panther mustache going on there.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I had to shave my mustache. I mean, not my mustache, my beard for work reasons. And now I'm gonna just let this mustache get really, really thick.
You look like you about to say, "Ah, a revolutionary."
That's exactly why I got it for the Judas and the Black Messiah review.
Fred Hampton.
Yeah, exactly. All right, the name of this episode is All New Halloween Spooktacular. And in this episode, it was the early 2000s setting. Did you guys catch what show that was on the introduction?
Malcolm in the Middle.
Did you catch that off the bat?
Malcolm in the Middle all day long.
Even from the camera shots, the camera angles with the kids talking into the camera. I thought that was
even with the way that Wanda and Vision were interacting, at the bottom of the staircase when they were talking, and Vision was like, I didn't have any idea your brother would be so cool with the kids. Like that's all Malcolm in the Middle all day.
Exactly.
Like kind of that cornball dad type of thing that Vision was trying to do at the beginning.
Exactly what that was.
Yeah. So the kids are talking back and forth. Uncle Quicksilver is on the couch. I love the fact that he just shows his powers off WAP running around, super speed. That shit was dope. And Wanda comes
notice
in.
Notice that his speed energy, it doesn't look like it did in X-Men Days of Future Past. That lets you
know. No, it's definitely Age of Ultron.
Yeah. It looks like the Age of Ultron speed energy. It doesn't look like the, because in Days of Future Past, it was nothing. Like he would just disappear and pop back up. And in this one, it's leaving that blue energy. Like
you think that's intentional?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They do everything they do is intentional.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
because I don't.
Go ahead.
Because I don't believe that this is in any capacity. I don't believe that this is the X-Men Quicksilver.
Okay.
No.
This is very much every bit the Age of Ultron Quicksilver, just with a different face. He's been just recast.
I actually think that that's who they're like trying to make us believe that this is, but I don't think it's him either.
Exactly. They're trying to make us believe X-Men are coming, and it's a red herring. I don't believe it in any way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't trust it.
But yeah, Vision comes down, Wanda comes in. The first thing I notice is they have their original costumes on. What you guys think about that?
I thought it was awesome. I thought it was cool. Now, when Quicksilver left with Tommy and they came back, at first when I looked at it, I was like, I understand that that's a nod to the comics, but they also look like they reminded me of devil horns. Like when I saw the way his hair was, I was like, that I know that that's a nod to the old comics, but kind of looks like demon horns coming out of his head because he's probably some sort of a demon or something like that. So, and we know that Tom is a spawn, a demon spawn. Quicksilver even said it later on in the episode, called him
give him hell.
Spawn. Yeah, called him demon spawn and things like that. So
that's very important. That's very important banter right there. I didn't even catch that.
I love Vision and Wanda's outfits. I like seeing Wanda wear that kind of really close to comics accurate look.
She's gorgeous.
I thought it was really funny. The way that they played him off. What was hers? A Sokovian fortune teller?
Yeah.
And Vision was a Mexican wrestler.
Yeah.
Like that was, I thought that was really funny. Like the humor in this show is very subtle, but it's very, very funny.
And the little Malcolm in the Middle cornball flirting that they were doing.
Yeah.
That I thought that was cool too. And then I thought it was even more cool when Quicksilver said that, this reminds me of that time Mom dressed us up and such. And they were like,
did that little flashback.
And he was like Nick Fury, and I couldn't tell who she was supposed to be. But he was supposed to be Nick Fury. Had the patch on his eye and all of that. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's dope.
And so like he's remembering certain things. And she said it didn't go that way. I don't remember it like that. What y'all think about that?
Because he's not who he says he is.
Okay.
That's why.
He is not at all who he says he is.
Okay. Yeah. Her and Vision, they had a little back and forth, and he was like, well, it's the only thing that was in the closet. So he's clearly catching on to what the fuck is going on. He like, I want to
fighting about it.
Yeah. So he kind of like just going along with it. And so he's like, he want to go do a neighborhood watch. They get back and forth into it. And Pietro said he'll take the kids, trick or treat.
Yeah.
And
he wants to get close to those children.
Yeah.
It's a reason why he wants to get close to those children. And peep how Wanda looked at Vision when Vision said, well, it was the only thing in my closet. Vision said it like, what am I supposed to do? That's all you put in my closet.
Yeah.
This is what you want me to do.
Yeah.
And then he stopped and he was like, okay. Because maybe he didn't want to fight in front of the kids, or maybe he just didn't want to have another fight about it. But it was coming to a fight. And even when Vision left, he kissed her on the cheek and he said, Wanda, be good. In other words, don't be so evil today. How about that?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he was saying.
Is this going to come to blows between the two of them? Because I know they almost did.
Yeah.
I actually think he's going to end up helping her.
Oh, I think they're going to have to protect the children.
Do you think that's what this all about?
No,
I think this is.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody's trying to get the kids. We think it's Mephisto. All the theories have been wrong so far. It's no telling who it is. It may be Nightmare, but somebody is trying to get those kids. It's a reason why Quicksilver wants to be around. What's the first thing that Billy said to Tommy? Tommy said to Billy, like, you're secretly afraid of our uncle because you think he's a vampire.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, all that little stuff is real telling. He's not who he says he is. Wanda knows something's not right. Obviously, he's got a different face. And he wants to be around those children and stay close to those children. He threw a couple different mentions about demons, and Westview is charming as hell. Like all of that stuff like that. He was saying stuff like that all the way through the episode.
Yeah, so they everybody disperse. Quicksilver takes the kids trick or treating. They go around, they steal all the candy, they smash all the jack-o'-lanterns and all that good stuff. And him and Wanda, it's like he trying to get Wanda to trust him as well.
Yeah.
He even something saying to some degree, you suppress this. Isn't this what you want?
How'd you do it?
How'd you do it?
Yeah.
How'd you do it? And so like, and that's another thing too, because Agnes is somewhat like that too. You can do that, how'd you do it? It's like they're trying to find out how she did this.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, like I said, he's trying to get Wanda to trust her. What y'all think about they back and forth?
Ricky.
I mean, between their back and forth, it was like watching a couple of siblings, but really, I really don't trust Pietro. I don't trust him at all. You know, the things that he was saying to her they're not the right things to say to Wanda in the situation that they're in. You know what I mean? Like, you don't keep poking at that bear.
Yeah.
And it's been really harsh. You don't keep poking at that bear because that bear is going to come after you in some capacity. I mean, she blasted him by the end of the episode just because he kept, he kept going after her, like, emotionally.
He said something. He said something about your
husband your dead husband can't die twice.
Yeah, he can't die twice.
I punched him in his damn face. Yeah. I don't care how fast he is.
Yeah, that's when she'd had enough. It's like, okay, I don't know who you are, but you didn't went too far. Earlier, he said something about, like, when she asked him, why do you look different? And he said, if I had done this, I wouldn't want to remember the past either. So he's putting it on her why he looks different. He's trying to make her believe she's the reason why he looks that way and things like that. So, and then he wants to find out how she done what she did. Where'd you have all these kids? How'd you do this? I'm not your husband. I'm not some stranger. You can talk to me.
Yeah.
So, he's trying to, get information out of her. And I believe Wanda genuinely doesn't know. I think she doesn't. I think she doesn't know. Even in what was it? Episode 5. I think she was completely oblivious to what Vision was saying. I don't think she has an idea that those people are suffering, because I don't think she would do that. At least not at this point.
So, like, okay. I got a question I got a question later on down the line, since you said that. Vision goes off and he's doing his own little thing. He goes to the edge of Westview. He sees people just standing there, just froze. And he sees Agnes. And what do y'all think about his and Agnes back and forth? What did you guys take from that?
Okay, so the Agnes thing, right? I've been saying probably, I feel like we've all three really been saying it since the beginning that Agnes is in on the joke, right? Like, she's in on it. I still believe that she's in on it, because the last time that we see Vision, like, snap somebody back to reality, that guy comes back and he's frightened and he's like, he's scared. Like, his reaction and Agnes's reaction were totally different. The other guy was, like, freaking out, and Agnes's first reaction is, you used to be an Avenger.
Well, see, to me, when he snapped her out of it, I think she was petrified. I think she was really scared when she came back.
I think she's putting on.
You think so?
I think that the line she said when she was in the trance was very telling to me. When she said, took a wrong turn, got lost. And it looked like she was about to start crying. I think just what I thought at the end during episode 5. I think that Agnes cut some kind of deal with Mephisto. And
I'm pretty sure she did, but she's in on this shit.
I do. I think she's in on it, but I don't think she's a willing participant. Or
I think that's what happened is. Well, I think that's what happened is she made a wrong turn into the town at the time when everything, because if Agnes moved in after everything had started, correct? Like, timeline wise, like, everything started and then Agnes moved in, right? I think that's what happened is everything started and then Agnes is driving down the road and I think she makes a wrong turn into this neighborhood and she gets sucked into it. But I think that because of that, I think she's being used.
She's
definitely being used.
Well, why would she say Wanda's doing it? And you said you think Wanda don't know these people suffering. She don't know she got a strong.
I don't think she knows that the people are suffering because she's still an Avenger. She could have had those men kill Hayward if she wanted to. She didn't have to protect Monica when she blasted Monica out of the reality, the false reality that she's made. So I don't think Wanda would intentionally hurt these people. She was caught off guard when Vision was saying Norm is hurting. He's got a family and you won't let him reach his family. Like, and she kept saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And she seemed genuinely hurt when the doorbell rang. And it seems like Agnes always shows up at these convenient times, or the doorbell rings or something like that. And when it happened, she looked at Vision and she said, I didn't do that. I think she meant that. I don't think she did do it. I think that she was caught. And then what was more telling to me is that she looked genuinely hurt that Vision didn't believe her. She said, she looked at him and she said, you don't believe me. Why would she act like she was that hurt that he didn't believe her if she knew she was lying to his face? I don't think she knew.
You're absolutely right.
I don't think she knows what he's talking. I don't think she knows what he's talking about. I do think she's obviously controlling everybody and everything, but I don't think she's doing it to try to hurt people. You heard her try to ask for confirmation from Quicksilver, who she doesn't even trust. And she asked him, she said, you don't think it's wrong what I'm doing? Like, she's trying to justify it in her mind that it's not wrong. She doesn't know people are hurting. She doesn't know that. And I think that Agnes cut some kind of deal, because if you pay attention to what happened to the dog in episode 5, Agnes came off, that's the first time that she came off completely genuine. I think it bothered her that it hurt the children that way.
Yeah.
And then when who was it? Tommy that said to Scarlet Witch, he said, you can fix anything, Mom, fix dead. And Agnes was like, you can do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like Agnes is trying to save somebody of her own. And she cut a deal with Mephisto, and he got her screwing everything up, but she's not wanting to do that. That's what I think.
I think you're right. I think at this point, I think she's trying to watch after those kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's doing that to protect them from Mephisto or whomever, or if she's, if she's doing it on his accord, or if she's doing it on her own. Yeah. Backtrack and say it like that.
Yeah.
Because most of her scenes now it seems like, with the exception of running a Vision, it seems like she's there for the kids. And then if you look at the opening credits to this episode, she's there with the kids.
Yeah.
Also, if you notice, on her butt, it said, she had those like early 2000s pants, sweatpants. It said, they said naughty. Yeah. And it had like devil horns on them.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that was one of the first things I saw, and that was screaming at me. Oh my God, look. Devil horns.
Yeah. These people are demons. Yeah.
This has got to be Mephisto.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that makes sense.
Notice when you go back and watch the episode, it's something real creepy that looked like it was staring at Wanda from behind, and it looked like it was just a scarecrow or something up there. And it may have just been some Halloween decoration up there, but it looked really creepy. I think it's like when they first go out into the street, it's daytime, and she's talking to her. I think she had just talked to her about something. And Quicksilver had went off with Tommy and Billy or something, and Wanda's sitting there in her, costume, and it looks like it's something hanging on a pole or something, and it's staring at her. Now, it may have just been decoration, and I may be reading too much into it, but it looked creepy. I know it creeped me out when I looked at it, kind of like a demon or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to go outside the Hex for a minute, and just talk about the dynamic that's going on out there. Monica, Darcy, and Jimmy, they get into it with the director of Sword, and
who's the sassy friend?
Who's what?
Who's the sassy friend?
Who is the sassy friend?
Yeah.
Who is the sassy friend?
No, that's what Hayward. That's what Hayward said. That's what Hayward said.
Oh, yeah. He did. But it seems to me like he's mad at them because she's taken up for superheroes, and like, you haven't been around for 5 years. You don't know what the fuck I had to go through. You don't know what it was like. You don't know the repercussions of what these people, what they did. What do you think about that? Because if you think about his point of view, it's kind of valid because he had to be there through it all.
Yeah.
I mean, he made a point, but he didn't have to make that point out loud.
Yeah,
and he didn't have to
but
say anything about her mom and
now
stuff
he
like
was
that.
low down.
Definitely didn't have to
That
say
was a
anything
low
about her
blow.
mom.
That was a low blow.
That was low down. You know what I mean? That was
That
real
was a
low
low
down.
blow. I
I'd come
personally,
across the room with that man.
I would have to. But you know what? I don't judge him because I do think he's got valid points. I think that he's doing something and he's trying to hide it, and getting rid of Wanda would cover it up. That's why I think he's so hell bent on he's trying to blame everything on Wanda, and he wants to take Wanda out so he can cover up whatever he was doing and get Vision back. It's crazy that Vision is wanted by Sword and Hayward, who's a villain in his own right, and Wanda is wanted by the devil, and the children are wanted by the devil. Right. That's why they keep trying to separate them. Now, Wanda.
Do you think? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No. What you're saying?
Do you think that they're trying to get Vision back to create a weapon out of him? Episode 5, they made the comment about his living will, how he was never going to be a weapon to anybody. Yeah. And when he dies, he's dead. Don't bring me back. That's it.
Maybe they're trying to get the Mind Stone.
Well, no, I mean, he doesn't have it. I can't imagine.
It's in his head.
Oh, it was in his head, but Thanos ripped it out.
Yeah, but I saw it. I saw it the other day when he was coming out of the hex. You can see the Mind Stone in his head.
No,
that was
not
real,
there.
Though. It's not. Yeah.
That wasn't real.
Maybe it's not.
It just hadn't faded away yet.
Maybe
no. Not. I think that Hayward's trying to find whatever he can out of him to turn him into a weapon. The closest weapon that I can think of are the Sentinels from the X-Men. I think that I wonder if that's what Sword's trying to do. Is if they're trying to create some kind of a weapon, kind of like a Sentinel.
What if he's trying to bring Ultron back?
I mean,
James Spader is listed on the casting for this show, so Ultron's gonna pop up.
I've yet to hear an Ultron word yet, so it's gonna show up.
Maybe they bring him back to do him justice because a lot of people didn't like how he was getting his ass beat up and down the street in Age of Ultron, but they had to be doing something because why did they still have Vision body? Why wasn't it disposed of? Was Wanda really saving Vision then? If they was doing something they didn't have no business doing. So I mean, of course, we'll find that out.
And whatever it is, Hayward's trying to cover it up.
Yeah,
that's why he wants to get Monica Rambeau and them out of the way so he can do what he's trying to do. He just needs to get Vision back, and that's it.
Yeah, so they had a big disagreement, and he kicks him out. He tell them to leave. They get escorted out, and Jimmy Woo can fight. So
Jimmy Woo can fight.
They can beat.
He passed that FBI training.
Yeah. They can beat some ass. They break in. Darcy, of course, get past the firewall, and try to see what Hayward's doing. But what I want to ask you guys, who do you think is Monica's friend?
It's got to be Reed Richards.
They brought up twice because she's going to meet him. Like we're going to find out the next episode.
Yeah,
I'm going to
Victor Von Doom or Reed Richards.
I'm going to have an absolute come apart if John Krasinski shows up.
I'm going to lose my mind if Jim Halpert shows up. If Jim Halpert shows,
because I think the next episode is going to be like a Modern Family Office type of sitcom with the talking heads. I've seen Wanda do one in one of the commercials, and it looked a lot like how they did that on Modern Family.
Yeah, I think it's going to be modern.
So how nice and how meta would that be if John Krasinski shows up in an episode that's low key, kind of an Office episode?
Yeah, the same way it would have been cool to see them give a Full House reference with Lizzie Olsen sitting right there. Their sisters done,
exactly.
Done.
I'm gonna lose my shit. I want y'all to know that.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah,
I am too. Awesome.
Yeah, and so that'd be real cool. So like,
but Marvel never does what we think they're gonna do. We sit up and talk about all these theories, and they always do something else.
That's true. Well,
we're masters of subversion.
I think Kevin Feige knows he's the greatest producer of all time. He knows he has a pulse on his fan base. He knows what we want to see. He knows what we want to watch because he wants to see it too. Because he's a nerd just like we are, and so he knows what He knows exactly what we're thinking, so he does the opposite. So it's probably not anybody in the Fantastic Four,
you
even though that's
did
what
get one.
Probably not.
We did get one theory right, and that was Vision can't survive outside of the hex.
yeah,
We had to watch Vision die for the third time. You know,
how selfless is Vision, by the way?
Well,
like,
Vision
I know he's a synthezoid, but golly, he is selfless.
Well, he can lift the hammer, so that was one of the first things we saw from him. So he's worthy. He's worthy.
Well, we was watching Vision die.
A hero.
We was watching Vision die again, and was that Tommy or Billy that sensed that he was in trouble?
Billy,
and I like the way
Billy's got Scarlet Witch telepathy type powers,
and Tommy got super speed. I like the way as the episode progressed, you seen that the kids have powers. You know, I like them introducing them having powers. So he notices that he senses that his dad is in trouble. He tells Wanda, and what does Quicksilver say to Wanda? Some of the most low down shit you ever can say.
He said, "Your dead husband can't die twice."
Now, what made you decide to say that?
So,
and why would you go and say a thing like that?
Why would you say that? But he's not who he wants everybody to believe he is. That's why.
And so what happens is, she blasts him, and she begins to extend the hex, which is very, very interesting. She's changing reality, as we can see. So as she's extending the hex, what do you guys think about that? Number one,
I think it was awesome.
I know that in House of M, what she does ends up, taking over the entire world. I guess the hex that she uses in House of M goes over the entire world, right? I don't know if this one's going to go over the entire world or not, but man, watching that thing expand like that was eerie, and I love the way they shot that.
Yeah,
where you see like Darcy and she's handcuffed to the car, and it extends out and it takes her in, and then you start seeing like the sword base get taken in, and it starts looking like a carnival.
Yeah,
and the sword agents get sucked in, and they all look like clowns.
Yeah.
The biggest question I think that comes out of all that is, if you backtrack a little bit to the conversation between Darcy, Jimmy, and Monica, where they're telling Monica, that going into the hex has changed her cells.
Yeah.
Is this how they're going to create the mutant?
It could be.
Yeah.
It's not a stretch now. It's changing everybody's cells. Obviously, we know Monica Rambeau is going to get powers from it, and she's already been.
Oh, of course, she's not. She gets powers.
Yeah, she's already been in and out of it twice, and it's already screwing with her cells. So Monica could be creating mutants.
If she create mutants, how do they do backstories of X-Men, like the Wolverines, the Professor X's, the Magnetos, who's been around forever, prior to they stories in 50s, 60s.
You know what it may be? I was thinking about the fact that it may be one of those situations where people have always had the mutant gene in them, and maybe whatever's happening is just bringing it out, something like that. Like I think that Wanda may have always had the gene in her, and then the Mind Stone just brought it out. It's possible that could happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe they already had the gene in them.
If I remember right, they went something kind of that route with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. In the second season when they tried to do the Inhumans. Because if you remember, they weren't going to do X-Men mutants because they couldn't. They didn't have the rights to it. So the way that they were going to get around that is they were going to use the Inhumans. And then you remember Inhumans was garbage and it all got trashed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the way they tried to bring them in on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is that they used some kind of like crystal or whatever, and it would encapsulate people that had certain like genetic markers, I guess, and it would turn them into Inhumans. If you had the marker, you would become an Inhuman. If you didn't, you would die, basically, right? And then like somehow it accidentally somehow it like one of the crystals contaminated some water, and the water got used for like bottled water and like fish oil, like supplements and stuff. And it got spread across the entire world that way. And the people either they crumbled into stone, or they came out of the stone with powers.
Yeah.
And
because that's how Sky got her powers.
Could be. Yeah. That's how she got hers. Is she got, she touched it and she turned into stone, and then she came back out, I guess, and it's
Well, even in Deadpool, they just, kind of brought out his mutation.
Yeah. So I feel like that's exactly. I think that's how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I think we're onto something.
I mean, they may not go all into the backstories and stuff. They may not do that.
They may not,
because in the MCU they don't
have to.
They don't always go comic accurate. Feige kind of lets them do their own thing, and he's kind of got a blueprint to it, and they'll mix some comic in with what they want to do. So
yeah, they don't have to do it. A fresh new take.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are to the end of the episode. Ratings. My favorite thing to do. So, so what are we going to give this particular episode? I want to start with Ricky.
Let's do this first, though. Let's go back and give a rating for the previous episode, because I want to give that rating, and then I want to give a rating for episode 6, if that's okay. Since we skipped episode 5, I'm going to come out and tell you that I'm giving that episode 5 a very cool 9.8, right?
Ooh.
I am. This episode, I'm going to give it about a 9.5.
Okay.
Okay, episode 5, I'm giving a 9.9. And then episode 6, I'm giving a 9.4.
Yeah. See, I think
I was so aggravated when it went off. Like, this is the most aggravated I've been when an episode went off. Like, I was so mad, and I knew it was coming. It's like they keep pushing up these credits and making them go freaking 20 minutes, 20-minute long credits.
Well, I'm gonna give episode 5 a 9.
This is Shad.
And that is Shad. That is so accurate. I'm gonna give it a 9, and I'm gonna give episode 6 a 8.75.
Whose phone or something is
mine.
blowing up? They are really trying to get in touch with you.
They are really trying.
Yeah, like so let's go ahead and wrap this up. So again, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next week. What you got to share, Ricky? Okay.
You are the Wanda to my vision.
That is dope.
These Valentine's. Hey, nobody's going to actually see this on Valentine's Day, because, we're currently recording it on Valentine's Day. But, happy Valentine's Day from Wandavision.
Happy Valentine's Day out there.
All right.
People who are getting.
And if any of you have sex tonight, make sure you do what you got to do.
And be careful, because it's supposed to snow tomorrow, and you might get snowed in with whoever it is. So.
All right. Nova Trifecta.
Here's hoping that everybody is snowed and iced in. They're going to sit down and watch this.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. All right. Nova Trifecta. We out, baby.